bring on the show Ty Wallace of the LA Clippers, and thank you so much for coming on. I thought we could just start with asking you, how is the adjustment going to playing for the Clippers?
The adjustment's been smooth so far. I think it's helped with me playing preseason with the Clippers. I'm familiar with the system, and I'm just trying to keep it rolling here. I feel really comfortable.
Great. So you already had a little bit of a relationship with the players beforehand. I mean, when you're in there in the preseason, like how much interaction are you doing? Are you just sort of stuck in the locker room and you're on the court and then you're gone, or do you get to hang out with them afterwards?
Yeah, I got to hang out with the guys. I came in actually in the summer a little earlier once I found out I was going to go to camp with them, and I worked out. So I got to build kind of relationship with the guys, and then through preseason we did a lot of team activities, which allowed us to kind of come closer together. So right now I'm all dialed in and fully comfortable with the guys.
Oh, you can say that again. So it's been really a pleasure watching you in these 6 games with the Clippers. And, I think the best part about it is that you guys are winning with you out there on the court playing a lot of minutes. I thought we could go through some of your plays because I'm really fascinated to hear your take on what's going on out there and how you're doing so well. So you ready? Let's just jump into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So a big thing that we stress when we're on the court teaching and sharing videos on the skills of basketballers is attacking on the catch. And I feel like you seem to have been really well versed in this, and I wonder, exactly when was this taught to you, where you want to no more triple threat stuff? You're just going to try and go right when you get the ball.
Yeah, I think the higher the level you play at, you're taught to make quick decisions with the ball. And, especially here being up with the Clippers now, my opportunities are going to come. But when they come, I have to, be smart and make the quick decision. And so that's what I try to do whenever I catch it. Either, be aggressive if I'm open, shoot. If I'm not, try to attack and get downhill and make a play.
Well, let's talk about the footwork here because it's really important. I love what you're doing is you basically, against the Denver Nuggets, we have a shot where you catch the ball on the left wing and you lift both feet in the air. I'm a really big hop guy, and we'll talk about that too. And you lift both feet in the air and then are able to explode with you split foot and then go and read that defense to get to the middle.
It's just basically reading the defender. On this play, Barton, I think he closed a little short. I actually had the baseline, but I think he was a little – he sped up and was a little out of control right there. And so I was able to get back middle, and he wasn't able to cut me off. So it was just, a read for me, to attack his lead foot. And I think I was able to get to the middle and finish.
So did you have a coach like in college or in high school that worked with you to do that, where you lift both feet on that catch to go, or is that natural?
Yeah, I definitely work on, footwork in off season as far as attacking, like I said, attacking lead foot. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely one of the moves that you can do when somebody's closing out to you hard, and then you attack the lead foot and get downhill. And it's hard for them to kind of shift their body to cut you off right there.
People might not be familiar with you yet, but you're a lefty. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you finished this one, and we have another play we're going to show you right now where you're finished with the right hand, and you almost remind me of that sort of weird Ben Simmons thing where he finishes with his offhand more than he does on his strong hand. Is that just a conscious thing? Do you practice more the right hand? How did that happen?
Yeah, I'm sort of, ambidextrous. I do a lot of things with both hands. I write with my left hand, shoot with my left hand. I throw the ball with my right hand, and I'm a pretty good finisher around the rim with my right hand. And so I think it's just something that's always come natural for me. Once I get around the rim, I can either finish with both hands, and I think it kind of throws the defenses off a little bit.
For sure. And then, by the way, as they get more comfortable with you, they're going to realize they think that you're a lefty because you're going to be shooting more, and then, boom, there's the right-hand finish. It's beautiful stuff. I want to take a quick break to let you know that the B-Ball Breakdown store is up and running, where you can buy all of my on-court demos. Whether you want to improve as a player or a coach, our ever-expanding library will have something for you, so check it out. On the next clip we have here on the left side, again, another attack on the catch beautifully, and you kind of now combine a couple different moves. Can you walk us through sort of frame by frame what's going on here as Steph Curry is closing out on you?
Yeah, so Lou drove, and I think he attracted to, and then when he kicked it to me, Curry was a little back. I actually could have probably taken a shot right there, but, I like to be aggressive and get downhill. So when I caught it, initially, I was going to drive right, but then Curry kind of shifted over and settled, and I was able to cross over and get back to the left hand. And then I had some space right there, and I just came back over and finished with the right hand.
Is that a shot that you work on? I mean, I guess we can call that a sort of a floater, leaning to the right with the right hand. Is that one you work on a lot?
Yeah, that's definitely a shot I work on. I drill it a lot. I get a lot of those shots in the game, and that's kind of like one of my strengths. So I drill that shot a lot. The floaters, awkward finishes off, either leg.
Well, let's move on to some cutting, because it's rare to see a young player, although you have a lot of experience from college coming in, that can cut so well off the ball, especially in this day and age where we're talking a lot about three-point shooting and you want to just kind of stand there and spot up and wait. So we have a clip here where Blake Griffin starts to break down his man into the post, and this would have been a perfect example where you just stand there and wait for your man to maybe double and then get the three-point shot. What about this play led you to really believe that you can get a cut in there and that would have been a good idea and that Blake was ready to give you the ball?
Yeah, again, one of my roles, here is obviously be aggressive when I get my opportunities, but, I have to find what's going to make me successful out here. And, I do take the open three when it's there. But on this particular play, George Hill was, all the way in help. He turned his back to me and lost vision. So, they tell you once you see the back of his head, you have opportunity to cut. And that's what I saw there. George went down to double, and, I was left alone at the top. And so I could have stayed out, but, I'd rather cut and get the easy two.
For sure. Well, let's move on to the open court, because people might not know this as well, that you're basically a point guard and played that position in college. How tall are you?
Yeah, I'm about 6'6".
Okay, so you're a big, tall guard, a little bit taller than the normal point guard that we consider. And so here we are, a play where you're against the Kings in open court, and I think this is another example where maybe people aren't sort of aware of this, what you can do with the ball. Walk me through what you're seeing here and how it felt like you could get in there and get that score.
Yeah, so I've always been comfortable pushing the ball, and the coaches, they tell me when I rebound, I can get out and bring it because I am a point guard, so I can push the ball. And so in this play, I was pushing it up the court, and I kind of seen it was just a space. They didn't really get back and load to the ball, and so it was basically one-on-one with me and Buddy. I just try to be aggressive, and I was able to cross over and get down into the lane, and pretty much when I get that deep, it's an easy finish for me.
Absolutely. So, you were not worried or concerned about like how it got all congested down there. You felt like you had enough space in there to finish?
Yeah, definitely. One player, everybody I think would tell you that one player, you don't believe that one player can stop you, when you're driving downhill, and the bigs were back trailing in. And so there was no rim protection at the rim, and I knew it was one-on-one, and I was able to cross over and get into the lane. And then once I got there, I was right in front of the rim. For
sure. And then again, you mentioned how you work on your floaters, and the same kind of thing here where you extended the last step a little bit longer and maybe took your time a little bit more to change the rhythm up. How much of a focus is that on your individual moves when you're trying to, improve on those skills as far as the footwork goes of changing the timing and rhythm?
Yeah, I work on these as well, in the off season. What I try to do was kind of get into Buddy's body and cut him off to where he couldn't make a play on the ball. And so that's what you can see. I took those, my 1-2 steps, the second step was a little long, and it was longer than usual. And then it was into Buddy's body so that he couldn't, block it or try to strip it. And that's something that I work on, just to create enough space so I can get the ball up and not have any problems.
Perfect. Well, the next play we have is against the Warriors, and you're actually coming up in transition basically against the Defensive Player of the Year. Just out of curiosity, does that come into your mind when you're coming on the court and you realize that Draymond is guarding you, or is he just another white shirt that you're going against?
Yeah, during the game, I'm not really paying too much attention. I think if I sit there and think, Draymond, Defensive Player of the Year, you still got to attack him. He still has to play defense out there, just like everybody else on the floor. But so during the game, I don't really think of it too much.
Okay, well, you can argue that because of his good defense, it forced you into your real deep bag of tricks here. Describe this play, because it's kind of a little bit of an awkward finish here. How did you get the shot off on this one?
Yeah, I came down and I took a couple dribbles and kind of tried to get him to sleep a little bit and relax. And then once I went by, I seen David West coming over, so I knew I had to get it off the glass quicker than usual. And so I was able to do one of the same, I think it was the same foot, same hand layup, right foot, right hand layup. And those are things that I work on. Again, awkward finishes around the rim. Sometimes you have to get the ball up quicker when the bigs are coming. So that's definitely something I work on, and it worked right there.
Absolutely. And not to be overlooked, you did not bring the ball back into your left hand. I believe is all one-handed finish as well. I have to imagine you studied Steve Nash a little bit on this play, right?
Yeah, I've definitely seen Steve Nash play quite a bit, and good players tend to take plays from some of the greats, and that's something that he used to use, and it's helpful for me to use at times as well.
Awesome. Well, let's go to a nice little sequence we had here against the Houston Rockets the other night, where first off we have a drive and to the rim where you actually protect the rim. And I thought we can walk through, how did you know, is it easy for you, is it instinctual for you to come off of your man to help on penetration?
Yeah, our coaches preach help defense, and the next guy has to be ready to come over and rotate. And on this play, I think Lou was closing out, and he got beat middle, and I was there under the basket guard, PJ Tucker. So I was the low man, and I was the next line of defense right there. And once Ariza got to the basket, I just tried to use my verticality and stop him from getting a bucket.
Absolutely, and I love how you have both hands up trying to get the verticality, and there's no foul there. Now they get the ball back, and it's not easy to see because TNT was busy doing a replay of something else, but I did want to notice you're guarding CP3, another one of those moments where I'm sure the game's going so fast you don't even realize you're guarding one of the best guards in the league. You just literally took his cookies. How did that end? How were you able to do that?
It was just I do a pretty good job. I think players underestimate my length. I have a pretty long wingspan, and I like to stab at the ball when guys are have it out right in front of me. And so CP kind of was in a triple threat, and he turned to face up, and the ball was a little exposed. And so I kind of waited till it got in front of me, and then I was able to stab down at the ball, and I just came up with it.
Beautiful, and that led to a fast break. So now we're back into point guard duties. And then how were you able to find Blake on this? It was not a big window of opportunity to throw this pass. So how did you find that?
Yeah, I had Blake and Trez both running, and then I was just looking at where Eric Gordon was, and he didn't really commit to Blake, which I thought if I can give him the ball close to the rim, he'd be able to finish it. And so I kind of wanted to look him off first and make sure that he would be open when I threw it. And so I looked Trez's way and then kind of just threw the no look to him, and he was able to get the foul and one and finish the bucket as well.
For sure, and that ended up leading you to a nice victory over the Rockets at home. Let's finish up here with talking about rim protection, which is a little bit strange talking to a guard about this, but this is no fluke. The block you had on the Ariza, you are doing this often and enough, almost about one time per game. So I thought we could look at a couple of these that you got here, because the one thing I noticed that you seem to be good at is you're able to sort of block strip at the same time, and it's some really quick move, kind of like Michael Jordan used to do those as well on the big men. Is that a new thing, or were you doing that in college?
I've always been a pretty good shot blocker. I think I have good timing and understanding of when they're going to try to go up with the shot. And I'm able to get my hands on a lot of balls down there, when guys are getting ready to go for a shot, and it's in between a block or a steal, whatever you want to call it. But it definitely helps us get extra possessions. For sure. And this last strip I wanted to walk through is because here's the interesting thing. People want you to force a switch now, and on a pick and roll here with you and Blake guarding the ball and the ball screener, Capella is now, you have to guard him. And it seems to me that that's not necessarily as big of an advantage as we think. How were you able to stop this from being a score? Yeah, with our team, we do a lot of switching. I think we believe our bigs can guard the guards as well as our guards can get down there and battle with the bigs. And so when we force the switch when they forced the switch, Capella tried to roll me down, and I think they wanted to take advantage of it, so they threw it in. But I knew he was going to try to, overpower me, and he gave me a little bump, and then he was getting ready to go into a shot, and then I was just able to reach in and strip the ball from him. Is that a thing? Are you always looking to try and get that strip when you're down there and the big men if they expose it? Yeah, definitely. As bigs, like I said, they want to overpower you, but a lot of times they tend to bring the ball down, and so the ball's at my eye level, and whenever they expose it, I'm trying to swat down and strip it or get my hands on it in some kind of way. Well, this is fantastic stuff, Ty. I really appreciate you joining us and breaking down your game. I'm really excited to see how the rest of the season progresses. Do you have any individual goals for yourself for the end of the season? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity. And, as far as individual goals, not really. I'm just trying to go out here and help my team each and every night, try to perform the best that I can and help the team win. And right now we've been doing a really good job, on 6-game win streak. So just trying to keep it going.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. And don't forget, sports fans, at BBallBreakdown, we're not a channel, we're a conversation. You in? Are you in, Ty?
Yeah, I'm all in.